of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. I'm going to break my promise for you not to sit and stand. So I will just allow you to sit for a minute to rest those weary legs. Please sit. And to break my rule, which is already just 2 minutes into the program, we will be standing again very soon. We are here for the investiture, but we are living in a world of uncertainty, and we have heard the news overnight about the invasion by Russia into Ukraine. And so we felt it is appropriate not just to pray for our nation, but to pray for world peace. So I'm going to ask Engineer Olagunju to please come forward to pray specifically for world peace, that the resolution of this conflict will be swift and according to God's direction. So please, can we stand for that special prayer? Thank you.
Shall we pray? In Jesus' name. Our Father, we are grateful unto you for bringing all of us together from far and near. We thank you because you always hear us. In our time of need, Father, we call upon you, even concerning COVID-19, and you heard us, making it possible for all of us to be here again today. Spirit of the living God, we lift up the situation in Ukraine unto you. You are the Prince of Peace. We pray that your peace will rule and reign in Ukraine in Jesus' mighty name. Father, with the invasion, lives will be lost, blood will be shed. We are crying unto you for your divine intervention, that every resolution, Father, that will make, that will restrain, Father, even this invasion, Father, do it in Jesus' mighty name, so that lives will be preserved, so that peace, Father, will be preserved, so that no sparing effect that will affect other nations, even particularly other nations, weak nations of the world, in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Father, help the helpless. Intervene, O God, and let there be peace, peace in Ukraine, peace all over the world, to the glory of your name alone. Thank you, everlasting Father. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Please be seated. And I promise you, you will not be asked to stand, at least not in the next 5 minutes. Once again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out on a weekday promptly for this special occasion. The Association for Consulting Engineers in Nigeria is the most reputable organization. The history is in the brochure, so I will not repeat that, but I will say that one of the things that has endeared the organization to most members is the effortless way in which the leadership is handed from one president to the next. There's absolutely no rancor whatsoever, and every year, every turn of tenure has thankfully always been accompanied with progress and peace. So it's my delight to invite you this morning, or to welcome you this morning to this investiture program. We will not take too much of your time. We'll try and be as prompt as possible. Having said that, there is a bit of protocol to be done, and I will try my best to go through that. I warn you that I got something close to C- in protocol in school, so I may not get everything perfectly, but I want to first and foremost recognize the guests of honor, the special guests of honor, Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State. He is unable to be with us, but he's very, very well represented, I can say that on good authority, by the special advisor to the governor on works and infrastructure, Engineer Mrs. Aramide Adeyoye, FNSC. Thank you very much, ma. You see, you had to stand up, so I... Thank you. And we also have in our midst the other special guest of honor, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Abiodun Makinde, FNSC. He is unable to be here with us, but he is ably represented by his Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Wale Magbonjubola, and he has been here very early. Please, I recognize you, sir. I think I did omit that the guest of honor is the governor of Oyo State. I'm sure most of us know that. Furthermore, we have in our midst, and in no particular order here, I'm just going to do a bit of representation. As I told you, what has been given to me is a little bit slim, so I will continue appropriately. But we do have in our midst, and I'm leaving out ACEN, we do have the Koren president, the president of Koren, Engineer Ali Rabiu, FNSC. You're welcome, sir. We do have in our midst the NSC president, as the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Tasio Gidari Wudil, FNSC, and he's ably represented by the Deputy President of Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Mrs. Margaret Oguntala. Welcome, ma'am. I can't say that I want to be brief and not mention the fact that Engineer Mrs. Margaret Oguntala has recently been elected as the first female Deputy President of Nigerian Society of Engineers. We congratulate you, ma. In our midst also, we have past presidents of ACEN, and it is always a delight to see them. I will recognize those who I can recognize, and if I miss any, we have in our midst the Doyen, Engineer Dr. Folayon. You are very much welcome, sir. God bless you, sir. We have Engineer Sir Edet Amana. Welcome, sir. We have Engineer K.A. Adiola. Very welcome. We have Engineer Ibikunle S. Ogunbayo. Welcome, sir. And Engineer Ogunbayo is the chairman of this Investiture committee. And we have Engineer Charles Yele Akindayomi, also a past president. As I said in the list given to me, some of the important ones are missed. And I should mention Engineer Shagaya. You are very welcome, sir. In addition, interestingly enough, also missing in the list, of course, is the immediate past president, Engineer George Okoroma. We will have a few other recognitions as we go along, but as we promised you, this is going to be very much to the point. And so, at this point, we must indicate that there is a chairman of this occasion. The chairman is Engineer Senator Anthony Adefuye, FNSC. I will briefly introduce him, but to let you know that he's unable to be here. He wanted to be here, but he's unable to, but he's very ably represented by Engineer Senator Adesheye Ogunlewe, FNSC, a former minister of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. On the program, it does refer to us introducing the chairman, and even though in his absence, I think it is only right that we just give that due respect by mentioning that Senator Adefuye is a well-accomplished engineer. He is better known as, in so many ways, as senator who in 1992 was was elected to represent the Lagos East Senatorial District, and he was honored with an award of excellence in humanitarian services at the National Peace Award 2019 in recognition of his exemplary leadership and commitment to maintaining peace, unity, and mutual understanding across all political levels within and outside Lagos State. As I say, he is ably represented here, and we wish him well. It is my pleasure to just call on the chairman of the Investiture Committee to properly introduce the substantive chairman who is representing the chairman. So I would like to call on Engineer Ogunbayo to please come up to the rostrum to introduce our substantive chairman in the hall today. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow engineers, all our guests, one of the beauties of the current age is that it's so difficult to hide. You cannot hide anymore. So when we were told that Engineer Adefuye will not be here with us today, it wasn't too difficult to find information about the distinguished senator who would be representing him, especially as he's somebody I know anyway. So between what I know and what Professor Google says, I'm going to try to give a few words. So I said I've known engineer, sorry, now, he's not an engineer. He belongs to that profession of people who call themselves learned. So he's a lawyer, and he's an alumnus of, I believe, University of Ibadan, which is where he got his first degree. But he is a Nigerian from the royal family of Igbogo, and politician whom, as we've been told, was elected as a senator on the platform of the Alliance for Democracy in 1999. He later became the Minister of Works under the presidency of President Olusegun Obasanjo, and a few incidences occurred and he had to leave. But the interesting thing about Senator Ogulewe is that his older brother, another distinguished technocrat who was in the services of the federal government for a long time, is also somebody whom I know. And between the three of them, and then they have another brother who was in Lagos State, between the three of them, they have contributed immensely to the progress of not only Lagos State, but of Nigeria. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure to invite Senator Ogulewe to come up to the rostrum to say a few words to us as the chairman.
Thank you very much. When all protocols duly observed, particularly to the governor of Lagos State and our dear sister, Engineer Adeyoye, and the representative of governor from Oyo State. When Senator Adefuye called me yesterday that, Sheye, are you free today? I said I was not free, because we are supposed to be in Ife on a campaign train with our mentor, that is the governor, my former governor of Lagos State. He said he would like to be there too, that is at Ife. Sheye, can you now represent me at an occasion? I said, which occasion? He said, Akem. They are trying to do, I have been advocating for quite a while, that the present position of Nigeria is caused by engineers. And he said, why? I said, how is it possible for Russia to be so audacious to invade Ukraine, if not with engineers? How is it possible for America to be the greatest country in the world, if not for their engineers? Which country in the world is great without the contribution of the engineers? Where are our own Nigerian engineers when things are going so bad and we are keeping quiet? I always marvel when they hold annual economic summit, and I laugh and I say, how can there be an economic summit and there is no engineering summit? It is only National Engineering Summit, annual, that we know whether the country is progressing or not by the economic summit. They are not productive. They don't create wealth. They don't create innovation. It is only the engineer that does. Why are you not calling on the engineers to speak to Nigerians? How far have we gone? What must we do? How can this country advance? So I blame the engineers for keeping quiet, for not talking enough, for not saving this country. I've interacted with my brother, Engineer Shagaya and Adiola. We've argued this matter. And Professor Oguye and Engineer Adibola and my brother, that any country that develops with their engineers. When I was the Minister of Works and Housing, I normally argue with my staff. I say, I remember when I was in secondary school, to pass arithmetic, geometry, and algebra was so difficult. But people like you will get 100% plus, and you will beat us. There is no engineer today that will come third in any class anywhere in the world. They either first or second. And I tell them, what is wrong with all of you that you are sitting down there? You are the most brilliant in any secondary school or primary school. How can you be an engineer without being a brilliant person? So what is wrong with our country? So my contribution is not the voice of Senator Adefuye. It is my own voice, and it's my own critical analysis of the position of engineers in Nigeria. First of all, the Nigerian Constitution is against Nigerian engineers. Why? National grid is exclusive list. It means every part of Nigeria can have light only through the national grid, or presently the subsidiary ones. But the major one, how can Nigerian engineers sit down and allow that to be put in the Constitution, that you must have only one national grid, where other countries have even local government grid, state grid, zonal grid, even institution in Africa, in America, University of California, they have their own grid. How can Nigeria develop with one national grid and Nigerian engineers are keeping quiet? It is not possible. We must advocate and fight for it. That as engineers, you must, it is not only politicians that will talk about devolution of powers, that will talk about restructuring. Engineers will also talk about restructuring. Let there be several grids all over Nigeria. That is the only way we can have electricity in this country. But if engineers keep quiet and you don't advise them, it is neocolonialism, which is worse than colonialism, for you to have one grid. The light will first of all to Shiroro. From Shiroro, it will come back to you. It doesn't make engineering sense. We have to advocate for it. You have to make sure that it doesn't happen. The second one in the Nigerian Constitution is annual budget, which must be passed by the National Assembly. Apart from Julius Baja, almost every other international construction company have left Nigeria because it is not suitable for them to survive. This year you give us a project, and all of you have gone through it. The project cost is 50 billion. This year you put 10 billion. Next year, because I am not close to you, you give me 1 billion in that project. How many years will it take for us to complete that project? 50 years. And that is one of the major reasons that is retarding the progress of this country. Federal government annual budget is anti-development, it's anti-engineering. An engineer can never survive as a construction company or even a consultant, where you cannot predict the provision in the budget every year. It is up to the National Assembly to determine what they put there. And once it is against your own interest, you are doomed as a company. We have to address this issue, and it's only engineers who can make sure that we focus on it, we make noise about it, and we make sure that every part of the world, you can have a 4-year budget so that engineers can plan, construction company can plan, but hardly can construction company plan with an annual budget. The mining sector, that is the position of engineers. What are you doing in the mining sector? The country can get a lot of resources, a lot of money through mining. Let us divert our attention to mining, engineer, so that we can bring prosperity to this country. And it is up to us to make sure that we focus on it. And I'm sure you have part of you as mining engineers, but they are not too feasible. They have to be feasible, they have to work hard so that we can have a good nation. Our secondary school education all over the world now is STEM education. And engineers should try and propel and advise government. Without science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, country cannot grow. I remember when we were younger in Lagos Island, it was a privilege for the young ones to get admission to King's College, Igbobi College, St. Gregory's College, CMS Grammar School. They were foundation for engineers, CMS Grammar School. And almost the best engineers that were produced in this country passed through those schools. And it was deliberately done by our forefathers to have growth of the future administrator of a country growing up in a very, very good foundation in science. And the best crop of Nigerians we have, we can name them, went through all this system with science bias, and they ruled the world at that time. They were the best. Let us advise government. Let us participate in government administration. Let us tell them the importance of engineering. And you don't do science enough at secondary school level, it's very difficult for you to advance. So, all in all, I want to congratulate the incoming president. I want to congratulate all of you for being engineers. It's a thing of pride to be an engineer because you are never a failure. When we struggled in secondary school to be fourth, fifth in class, myself, I have to have sleepless nights to come fourth because I have boys that will get 100% arithmetic, 100% plus plus, algebra, 100% plus plus. Today they are all engineers. So I don't see why you are laying back. You are the best in everything a nation can produce. And I wish you all the best of luck. And I wish the new incoming president the best of luck too. Thank you for having me. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. I think another round of applause, please. There were so many things we took from that, the chairman's keynote address. The press heard how difficult it is to be an engineer and how important it is to be an engineer. And sir, I remember back in those days too, how we used to struggle. Thank God you were talking of trying to be fourth. Some of us were trying to be 15th, and it was still a struggle. So, so thank you very much, sir. Moving on, I did mention that we had a few recognitions, and I want to just do just one or two quickly before we move on. In our midst, we have the Managing Director of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, Engineer Mrs. Abimbola Akinyajo. You are welcome, ma'am. She's also a very strong member of ACEN. We have in our midst, I think is either the president or one of the strongmen of the Association of Consulting Architects of Nigeria, ACAN, a friend of mine, Architect Wale Okubadejo. You are welcome, sir. And even though you will notice I'm trying to keep it brief, one other recognition that just cannot be overlooked is that the fact that the outgoing chairman had been very well represented over his 2-year period, very well supported by his very amiable wife, who happens to be here with us, all the way from Port Harcourt. I recognize Mrs. Ngozi George Okoroma. Thank you so much indeed. I suppose they maybe even have a special handover of the first ladies. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what has a beginning always has an end. And so it is my pleasure to call on the outgoing president to give his address. Engineer George Okoroma, please.
Good morning all and welcome. The chairman of this occasion, Engineer Senator Anthony Adefuye, FNSC, ably represented by Engineer Senator Adesoye Ogunlewe, FNSC, Your Excellencies here present, the representative of the governors of the two states, the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Works and Infrastructure, our own Engineer Mrs. Aremide, the representative of the Governor, Governor Makinde, who is represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Wale, past presidents of ACEN, presidents of sister associations, captains of industries, royal fathers, and I believe royal mothers here present, ESCO and council members, distinguished firm members, distinguished guests, men of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It was like yesterday, on the 20th of February 2020, at the Royal Banquet Hall, Hotel Presidential, in the Garden City of Port Harcourt, River State, when I was invested as the 18th president of ACEN. A twinkle of an eye, my tenure is over. And today, I am passing on the baton of leadership of this great association to another engineer of impeccable quality to steer the wheel of our dear association and to lead us to our dream destination. Serving as your president for the past 2 years is indeed a great honor. I could not have wished for a nobler responsibility to contribute towards the development of the practice of consulting engineering in Nigeria and to be involved in the critical decision-making that is of national interest for the betterment of our lives and the preservation of infrastructure in our country. My journey in office for the past 2 years is not a product of lone efforts, but the result of the contributive efforts of a long list of amazing engineers, and indeed, individuals who generously decided to lend me their support, counsel, advice, and goodwill. And so, for many reasons, I am grateful to a lot of people who have made this journey possible. First, I thank God Almighty who made my tenure a success despite the challenges of COVID-19. Indeed, it was barely a month after my investiture that Nigeria was hit with COVID-19. Our cities were locked, flights were canceled, schools were closed, businesses folded, and many people lost their jobs. Prices of food items increased, movement in communities were restricted, and we were home alone, unable to go out, and separated from our loved ones and colleagues in their hours of need. It was a global standstill. But despite this standstill, we were able to move on as an association. And I'm happy that ACEN is alive, vibrant, and involved. We counted, and our numbers are intact. We rallied around each other, harnessed technology to keep the flag flying, and even when companies were downsizing and following staff, ACEN brought in new staff on board, and today we have worked as a team to sustain our association to this point. There's no denying I was called the digital president many times by some of my colleagues in the association. And I must say, I love that line because it points to the fact that we were able to swing into action and adopted latest tools and technologies to keep ACEN in the front and relevant in the things of the day. I want to especially thank my family, especially my beloved wife, Angie, for being there for me in this most difficult time, and the entire staff of my company for holding forth for me while I was away and engrossed with the things of ACEN. After being away for 2 years, and now that I am back to the office full-time, I remember what my predecessor, Engineer Charles Yele Akindami, FNSC, told me while I was about to take over from him in 2019. He said, among other things, ACEN presidency will take you away from your office and business for 2 years. I hope you have people in place who could hold forth for you. Truly, it was not easy, but with the goodwill of my staff and the support of my family, I came back and I made everything in order. I want to thank ESCO, Council, and all member firms for their impeccable, exemplary leadership and guidance all along. To Engineer Dr. J.I. Faloyon, FNSC FANG, sir, I am indeed very grateful for your support as a father to see me through in this my tenure. I want to also especially thank Engineer Y.O. Shagaya, FNSC, FANG, MFR, OFR, Thank you both for your fatherly and professional guidance during my tenure. I cannot but thank my sister and colleague, though she's not here, Engineer Mayan. Oh, great. It's good to see you here. Engineer Mrs. Mayan Adetiba, FNSFA. Indeed, for being the chairman of my investiture. And indeed, ma'am, I'm very grateful for your support. How far could I have gone without a team of dedicated and committed staff of ACEN? I owe a lot of thanks and gratitude to the Managing Director, Engineer Sunday Kalijayi. Where are you, sir? Thank you very much, Engineer Sunday Kalijayi, for being there and giving me the support to lead the session to this level. I want to thank Sean Akilva, I hope she's here, our program manager, to Joanna Moigane, our membership service manager, to Niyi, our accountant, to Kaide, our ICT, to Tosin and Taiwo, who were at one time the executive assistants, and to Biodu, our HRO, and to Lawal, our dispatch rider. I thank you all for making my tenure in office a huge success. No man is on Ireland on his own, and no man can live alone. For this, I want to very specially, thank our presidents of our sister associations, particularly Engineer Ali Basir, Rabiu, FNSC, for the support given to me during my tenure. Indeed, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the question in the minds of many of us now is, what did you do or what did you achieve during your tenure in office? Please permit me to inform you that when I assumed office, I made a standing proposal of 1,350,000 naira to do a general overhaul of ACEN website. Conscious of the key role that the great resource of website can play as the first point of call for international audience and the public, I, with the support of my company and Gambetta News, we worked on and delivered the website, which has essential functionalities and plugin free of charge to ACEN. As I said in my inauguration address on the day of my investiture, for Nigerian engineers and consultants to be a par with their counterparts in the 83 member states of the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, we must provide facilities for engineering capacity development and fund platforms that will grant engineers direct access to latest documents and research journals on issues that revolve around engineering and consultancy. To achieve this target, the ACEN e-library and the Engineering Capacity Development Center was birthed to be the first place of call for engineers and aspiring engineers in Nigeria and all over the world for research papers and latest information and professional online training and learning. It was wise and intelligent that we should do this, as official documents showed that great efforts had been made 16 years ago, particularly by engineer Sir Dr. Edward James Amana, FNSF NGOON, to register ACEN with a virtual library organization to build capacity for ACEN members through access to published materials in their various areas of interest. In my tenure, I could not afford to let this dream slide, but to make it come to life and bloom at this time. Today, the ACEN e-library is up and running, and it was officially presented to ESCO on the 7th of July 2020 with 36 created backlinks to Ivy League institutions and engineering resource database for the capacity development of our members and would-be engineers of the general public. I take pride in speaking about these two projects because a lot of funds went down the line on pro bono basis to bring us to where we are today on this project. And as I am stepping aside, I want to again convert the entire staff of the association and all members to get actively involved in ensuring that there's upload of engineering content for the readership and for the full harness of the functionalities and integration of all materials on that site. In my tenure as your president, I had the honor of presenting papers at the high-level gathering of engineers in Nigeria and abroad. Worthy of note is the presentation of a paper in the current assembly, the implementation of continuing professional development, CPD, for enhanced engineering practice in Nigeria at the 29th Korean Engineering Assembly, Abuja 2021. Secondly, the second paper was on continuing professional development for lifelong learning opportunities at the National Engineering Conference and the Annual General Meeting, Abuja 2020, by the Nigerian Society of Engineers on Wednesday, 18th of November 2020. One of the things I cannot forget to mention is ACEN's enthusiastic involvement in FIDIC International and FIDIC Africa. Although the 2020 FIDIC International Conference, scheduled to hold in Geneva, Switzerland in September, was postponed due to COVID-19, when it eventually held virtually on the 10th and the 13th of September 2021, I served as a member of the panelists that spoke on sustainable investment for the lifelong term and the new way of working. Throughout my tenure as your president, I served and I am still serving as the honorary treasurer of FIDIC Africa from 2018 to date. All things being equal, and with the approval and support of ESCO and Council, ACEN will be hosting the FIDIC African International Infrastructure Conference from the 15th to 17th of May 2022 at Eco Hotel in Lagos. I covet your support and the sponsorship to make this event a huge success. Throughout my tenure as the president of our association, I represented ACEN in current council and successfully attended all council meetings. Apart from representing ACEN in current, within my tenure, I served as chairman of 5 major committees of current and a member of 4 other committees. The president of current, who is here, can attest to this. I am pleased to inform you that ACEN Endowment Foundation in my tenure had been fully and duly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, and opened a dedicated operational account with Guaranteed Trust Bank PLC, and all funds have been duly transferred to that account. The foundation is being managed by a board of trustees chaired by Engineer K.A. Adiola, FSC, FANG, and 4 other past presidents, with the managing director of ACEN as the secretary. Since the era of the 16th president of ACEN, ACEN was promised a land in Abuja by one of our past presidents, Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu, FNSC, FANG, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources. In my tenure, I followed up with this promise with all zeal, and to the glory of God. I am happy to inform you that the promised land has been allocated to ACEN in Abuja by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. A massive land of 4.97 hectares with little vegetation. We have been to that site. Indeed, we have done all the paperwork, visited this plot with government surveyor, and ACEN is ready to start building immediately if the resources are available. This would not have been possible without the support and the generosity of our 16th president, Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu, FNSC, FANG, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, and I thank him so much for helping us achieve this in my tenure. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in my tenure, despite the upsurge of COVID-19, we never postponed nor suspended any of our meetings. All our AGMs, EGMs, and business evenings held successfully throughout my tenure. Where we could not meet physically, we harnessed technology and delivered on our responsibilities. Within the space of 2 years that I was in office, ACEN's membership increased tremendously. In 2020, we onboarded 39 new firms, and in 2021, we onboarded 49 new member firms, making a total of 88 new member firms, and these firms are actively paying their dues. To lead comes with a lot of responsibilities, especially when you are just coming on board. To make the journey smooth for my successor, I am happy to announce that I am not leaving behind any debt for the incoming administration to inherit. As I draw my speech to a close, I must touch on a great achievement that ACEN recorded in my tenure. And this is about the Golden Jubilee. On the 8th November 2021, at Engineering Close, Victoria Island, Lagos, we had a press conference to mark the 50th anniversary of our association. On Wednesday, 10th November 2021, at Sheraton Lagos Hotel, we had an award ceremony where we appreciated our founding fathers and the sacrifices that they made in order for us to be here today as an association. My special appreciation goes to, again, Engineer Mrs. Mayen Adetiba, FNSC, FANG, and the entire Golden Jubilee Committee members who worked so hard to make sure that the Golden Jubilee celebration was a reality. As I reminisce on this event, I shook my head and said, I am not only a digital president, I can equally say I am the Golden President. We simply cannot expect anyone to deliver at his or her optimum best without providing the necessities required to make that work possible. So in my tenure, we purchased a new generator set for effective work activity at ACEN Secretariat. We purchased new office furniture to improve work conditions. We purchased a new air conditioner for the office of the managing director and laptops for the executive assistants and the ICT. Today, looking back, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have no regrets. I have joy overflowing in my heart because I am handing over to this new administration an ACEN that is vibrant, resilient, and involved in the things of the day. To my successor and his team, I wish you good luck and happiness in all you do. Please, and please, uphold integrity, raise the standard higher, represent us well in the Committee of Nations, and may the works of our founding fathers in your tenure continue to bloom. May God bless the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and may God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Another wonderful round of applause for the outgoing president. Sir, we congratulate you on your tenure. And we also are very happy that you will be remembered as the digital president and the golden president. Because if not for that, you'd have been known as the COVID president. And I'm sure nobody wants that. We do have to move on very quickly, and part of an event like this, a professional event, is that we do have to have at least some knowledge impartation. And so we have what we have described as the Investiture lecture. It's actually going to be quite short. Also, I've been told or promised. And so we're going to have that now. as had been mentioned earlier, just as we were having the last item, a past president came in, past president of this association, and so it's my pleasure to recognize formally Engineer Mrs. Mayen Adetiba. You are extremely welcome. We have the lecture, which was meant to, or is to be given by Engineer Professor Ayo Francis Ogunye, FA-Eng, FNSC. And as I mentioned, he is not able to be here. But I'm delighted to say that he has been extremely, or he is extremely well represented by a distinguished academician, Professor Sunday Abayomi Adebisi. He is the Michael Adenuga Chaired Professor of Entrepreneurship at UNILAG. Please welcome to deliver the investiture lecture, Professor Sunday Abayomi Adebisi.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I want to thank everyone and stand on the already established protocol, because I know time is now very important to us. I'm equally very honored to stand in for Professor Ayodele Francis Ogunye, who is a great papa of University of Lagos, who has deemed it fit that I should be the one speaking to us this morning. And I want to respectfully say that I feel very honored too to stand before this very important personalities in Nigeria, the people that have built this nation. Thank you very much for all you do and for what you're still doing and for being here. So, I will call you, I'm a professor of business. Entrepreneurship is my focus. I will call you people, you are consulting engineers, and I can equally call you people business engineers. So, because you've been in businesses, despite being engineers all your life. So we're looking at business operations in a depressed business environment, the challenges and the coping strategies. I want to thank the chairman for the great job he did here the other time. It's like we've had discussion before. I was in China from 2013 to 2014. I conducted a study in China that won the best paper in performance management in UK in Belfast in 2014. I was actually celebrated where Titanic ship was built.
Join you in this investiture program to get my good friend, Engineer Ajibade Oke, becoming president.
What was I looking at? This is just a little bit of diversion. When I was in China, there was a night I wept. And why did I weep? We were taken to I was a visiting scholar in Suzhou University. I was taken to a place, a very big hotel that they call 5-star hotel. And where we were received, a very beautiful, looking as if we were in this space. So I became curious. Is it all gold? Are these guys so rich like this that everywhere is just like gold? So in my curiosity, in touching it, you know, Nigerian academy very curious. So I went to an hedge like this to just check, and I peeped. And I saw bamboo. Everything they used to do that place, in the inside was, you know, the bamboo that we use. But the outside looks like gold. And when I look at that thing that, you know, we were all looking at, so this is a great development, I saw one thing, that they have only used what is readily available in the environment to turn that place around that it looks like we were in this space. So, and I asked myself, so bamboo can do this. And by the time I moved around China, I did a comparison of Nigeria and China from 1980. That was a study. And I titled it, The Asian Dragon Movement and the African Giant Sleeping. A comparison of, you know, 30-year economic race. And it will shock you that side by side, as at that point in time, Nigeria has changed government 8 times. Ghana has changed, China has equally changed government 8 times. From that 1980 to like 85, we were far better. FDI to Nigeria was far greater than that of China. In fact, 1980, poverty rate here there was about 34%. In China, it was 88%. It was in 1978, that was why Chairman Mao decided that, you know, we must go on one-child policy. But look at that journey of 30 years and what they have become. And we, the giant of Africa, were still here. And what did they do, sir? In 1983, the Politburo member, the 25 members of the Politburo member, who is like our National Assembly, were all engineers. They took decision to select all the, you know, the people's, the China People's Party, the Politburo members, 25 engineers. They were the ones that were there all till late 90s. When they knew that they want to globally compete, they began to bring us people in business to support the engineers. So that we are where we are today. You've done good jobs for the nation, but I know you can do more. Thank you very much, sir. And I know for sure that the nation will do better when the engineers in this nation can help us to use what we have to solve the problem of the nation. So I just want to add that to what the chairman has said. Thank you very much, sir. So I'm going to be very quick. I'm going to be business-like here. It's just to let us understand, you know, what business operation is, the best business environment you find it, but what are the things we should be able to do when we're there. So I respectfully thank Professor Ayo Ogunye for this opportunity. Can I have, okay, I think I have do I point it to you? Are you sure it will? I doubt. You saw what? I doubt because of the distance. So you can help me so that we don't waste time. So you give me the next slide. Just the arrow. The arrow will do it. Just the arrow. Use the computer, use the arrow. Because I want my audience to follow me, or I should speak extempore. I think it would be better if I can go on. All right. Okay, introduction, let me speak the mind of Professor Ogunye here. When on December 30, 2021, the incoming president, Engineer Chibade Oke, FNSC, invited me by telephone call to be the guest speaker of this investiture. Out of impulse, I accepted the role instantly because both of us, I'm on the second slide, correct? Yeah. Because both of us are product of Car House at Government College, Ibadan. I did not check my calendar before my acceptance until 2 weeks ago. Yes, until 2 weeks ago when I discovered a clash with the statutory board meeting of my endowed Professor Ayodele Francis Ogunye Trust Fund, University of Lagos. The Board of Trustees considering this year budget today, hence my presence is very needed, and the reason for my absence to deliver the address physically. But I have a very competent substitute to deliver the address on my behalf in the person of Professor Sunday Abayomi Adebisi, the Mike Adenuga Chair Professor of Entrepreneurship, University of Lagos. Ajibade, I pray to God to give you the wisdom of Solomon to lead the association during your tenure with distinction to a greater height in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. And to the incoming president, who is a great alumnus of University of Lagos, I've read about your profile. You did great things in University of Lagos, members of the volleyball. You enjoy yourself in mechanical engineering department. The president, I don't know you, is he seated anywhere? Oh, great Akokite. Great Akokite. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Akokite. Let those people that went to other universities know that we are here. All right. Thank you very much. So let me go. Oh, correct. You know, as a teacher, it's always very difficult for us. Is this working? Please help me. That way I'm going to be fine if I can move. You get the best of us when we can move. All right. So let's examine the basic concept in this subject of discussion. There are two things: business operations, depressed economy. Depressed business economy. Whether we like it or not, no matter what, we must function within our business environment, no matter what. That's why we call it the macro environment. You cannot do anything about it, nothing. But you must function within that space. And there is a need for you to understand your operations, to understand what to do in this situation. You know, we call it DBE, depressed business economy. Everybody is experiencing it now. You consultants, you that you have companies, you that you've been doing greatly for the nation before now, you're experiencing it. I know what I'm saying today because I can see people who, thank you. Okay, I can see people who have moved through generations in this place. People that were in the university in the olden days, that were recruited from the university. That when you finish, you know, the GB Olivant, all of them, you know, UAC, you know, beckoning to you to say, come and work with me. We can pay your price. Work with us. And we moved to the period where the things, you know, became a little bit, they were crawling, and we're saying, oh, is this Nigeria? And here we are today. Some of us, you know, we were not privileged. We learned about that story, that during convocation, you know, you see those great companies coming on board, beckoning to you to say, come and work with us. We never saw that. We all struggled. I was looking at the meal ticket like this. I was looking at it. I never enjoyed it in the university. But I like so I was looking at it because my mom was a cook in higher institution, so I understood what it is, the way they worship them, this to do. I was looking, when I grew up and I become like these people that eat in the dining, oh my God, I will hate my life. And I was only, you know, seeing it. I never enjoyed it. So that is why I'm extremely passionate for this nation today, because I know it's a great nation. It's a nation that could deliver value. Why are we here? So it's important for all of us. We'll be talking to engineers today. If all of us can look at this, in my own space in entrepreneurship, I'm changing this nation. And I am changing this nation. And the entrepreneurship program in the University of Lagos is #1 today. Because of what I have done in that university, with the support of my Vice Chancellor, the curriculum of entrepreneurship has been changed by NUC across the nation. So in our space, we must do what? We must effect changes. So why are we here? It's a challenge. We will solve it. We'll live within this challenge because there's nothing we can do about it. We only need to live and survive within it. So let's look at what business, because, you know, I'm talking to engineers. I know you've been in business. Can we just break it down to have some understanding of it? You know, business engage in activities on a daily basis, what we do every day, to increase the value of what? Enterprise, and to do what? To earn profit. That is to say, if there is no depressed business environment, profit is supposed to be earned every day, because 2 + 2 is not equal to 4. Apology to engineers. You were the one that defined that. No, it's 5 as far as you are concerned. That's what we call synergy. If 2 + 2 is equal to 4, one day it will become 3 and you lose all the value. Even one day it's going to become 0. So 2 + 2 to us is 5. That's our mathematics, and that's what we're using to change the world. You know, ours is not mechanical, it's not fees. We're talking about the fact, bring this value, add it to this value, both must be greater than what you're bringing together. And that is that profit. And when you're in business, that's what you're doing. And as a matter of fact, that is what you want to see at every point in time. That's what makes you a going concern. That's what will make you to be able to affect the society. Most of the businesses, so many of you consultants that you seated there today, you started alone as a civil engineer. You were the one going to site yourself. You were even the civil, you will do even the electrical and the mechanical alongside when you were having small projects. After some time, you did what? You grew. You grew to, okay, add 2 engineers supporting you. At a point in time, you have 3 engineers. Some of you now today, you have like 40, 30 engineers in your companies. And what has happened is that your 2 + 2 was never 4 at any point in time. It was 5. And that you must, at every point in time, push your 2 + 2 to be what? To be 5. I'm trying to tell you that the engineers of 2 + 2 that you said is 4 has never been 4, and we don't see it as 4. So you must earn profit. And business and environment, they are what? They are inseparable. They are inseparable. They are inseparable. One can function. In fact, the environment is independent, but the business is dependent. But then the business cannot work without the environment. So that we must know. And business operation evolve as the business grows. So therefore, managers are what? Expected to accommodate environmental changes to prevent complexities that will occur in the system. So what we want to look at today is how do we these changes that are now frustrating most of us, we must not live in this frustration, because it's a circle. We're in that circle today. If we all do all we need to do, we'll get away from that circle. So what do we need to do is what we'll be looking at. What are the pillars of business operations? For some of us, probably at times you've not properly calibrated, you're not properly, calibrated what your operations supposed to be. We're engineers, and this is what you need to do, or the pillars you need to create. As an engineer, you understand that this building we're in now, because of the height we've gone, I'm not an engineer, but I think this height told me that block walls alone cannot do it. There must be pillars. And what is actually holding this together is more of the pillars, not even the block wall. If that's what my basic business, teaches or tells me. So that pillar is very important. If you do not put the pillar in where they're supposed to be in terms of their, what do you call it now, the space and all of those things, the building may be in a serious issue. So these are business operations pillars. We ask ourselves, some of these, to what extent do we have them, or we understand their availability? Cross-functional collaboration. Today, we don't usually put this in business operation pillars before, but today is number 1. It's number 1, cross-functional collaboration. Because for you, one of the things that has happened to great nations is that they collaborated. In fact, they negatively collaborated with us to develop Europe. They took us away as slaves. That's collaboration. The only thing is that we never had voice, we never had a voice. But they couldn't have developed that sugarcane farm and all of those in the economy without us. Anytime I stand before them anywhere in the world, I used to tell them, you have not paid us enough. You need to continue to pay us. I remember vividly when we're talking about the environment, we're talking about carbon credit, and we're talking about the fact that, yes, we cannot use we should start using clean energy. I believe in the environment quite well. But I stood up and I told them in UK, you use dirty energy to develop your economy. You want us now to start using very expensive energy to develop our economy. The gap has been created. You're not waiting for us. How do we catch up with you? Pay us carbon credit for us to be able to use what? Clean energy. Now, I'm speaking to the engineers. If I make sense, I want you to pursue that when we sit down together. Because what developed the economy of UK, economy of US was coal, was dirty energy. So now, where we are now, it's not even up to where they were when they were using dirty energy. And clean energy is extremely expensive. So somebody needs to pay for the other person for us to be at par. And that is very important. Because that is extremely important. When I said that for like 3 minutes, everybody in that place, if you drop a pin, you will hear. So during the time we went for tea, coffee, I became very popular. They were coming. Oh, you made a great sense, but you don't believe. I said, no, I believe in, look, I believe in the clean energy. And I'm only saying, because all my life, I've learned about competition, and I know what global competitiveness is. And for Africa, for Nigeria to get anywhere, we must be globally competitive. And your resources is what will make you to either be globally competitive or not. And when you don't have the resources and you want to compete well, when you don't have good players and you carry yourself to go and meet Chelsea, there's some way you've already, it will be better for you not to play where Chelsea is playing and go and play where the other people playing, because you disgrace yourself. So that is important. Collaboration is important today, and that is what they did. They collaborated with us negatively, with us having a voice. But today, I'm talking about positive collaboration. It's important we all infuse this into our business operations pillars. Some of us were always very afraid to collaborate with us. It's very important this period. So people, very important, because if you pull down this house, if you have the right people, they can make it better than it used to be. That's what people can do for that. That's how you should understand people. So when you have the right people, was it not Thomas Edison that said, destroy my factory, destroy my machine, but give me back my people, I will build again. That is to say, when you have the right people, there's something you cannot do. Money, communication, special project program, strategic planning, growth, operations and execution, data management, metric reporting. These are the things that are expected of us to have, to build in our business or our operations. So when you talk about this DB, they will try to, the business economy, environment, it's a period of sustained decline in economy activities like we are having now. You see, I do not, so many of us, it's a tough call because I'm undergoing a construction now myself, and I understand what it is, how bad it is in the nation now. That's the truth, how bad it is. You see, a downward trend, a complete downward trend of, business activities is when, we have this depressed business environment. And depression in business is more severe than recession. Recession, it's a severe thing. Because most of the times, even we experts, it's difficult for us to know what you used to plug in, to be able. It's depression of the business environment is like when human being is depressed. For anybody to commit suicide, depression must come in. The depression is a state of confusion that does not even give that human being the ability to reason like human being again. And he would think that terminating my existence is, is what should happen. My heart bleeds every day because of the youth. The youth is so depressed that the only thing they think is to just get out of the country. They're not even seeing any opportunity again in the nation, that let's get out. When you speak with some of them, you begin to say, no, this is just a circle. It's still going to be better because I deal with the youth. I deal with the entire 57,000 students of the university because of the vantage position I sit as the Director of Entrepreneurship Center. And we try to encourage them that this nation will be better. Don't run away. Just ensure the fact that you have additional, skill to yourself. So it can cause grave economic downturn that lasts several years. We all must do something. So, and what are the things that used to happen? Substantial increase unemployment. Youth unemployment is about 38% in Nigeria. It's serious. And we have 125 million youth in Nigeria. And when you look at about 40% of that youth, that is about 40 million. The population of Canada is 33 million. So you have Canada plus Finland and one other country completely unemployed in Nigeria. I always like this data. The entirety of Canada that we run to is unemployed when you look at the data of the unemployed youth in this nation. Because the age 15 to 25 comprises about 65% of 203 million population of Nigeria. So it's a serious issue on our hands. And every sector must focus on how we solve this. The engineers must look at how we can develop so much that it will lead to what can create jobs. Inadequate credit facility decline in GDP. When you look at our GDP today, because Naira is gone down, if we revalue it at the end of the day, probably we are not even going to be where we are if we do rebasement because of the serious devaluation of Naira by now, which we don't even know what it is. CBN will say it's 400 and something, you want to get it, say 500 and something, so you don't even know what it is. So, which it's a tough call. Bankruptcy, we saw what happened during the COVID-19 period. Many companies went down, and I know many of us, we were badly hit. Already competition, stock market crash, hyperinflation, loss of consumer confidence, and high cost of production. This is what is happening now, to be very realistic. So, we have the Great Depression of 1929, which went across the world. Lasted for 10 years and forced millions into unemployment. So, in the present situation, when you look at the nation, we're almost at the base of having a depressed economy. We're moving completely away from recession. We're in between of us saying that this economy is depressed, because by the time you have a CBN of a country coming out almost every 2 or 3 weeks or every month, changing the order of how to the physical plan of something is happening. Something is happening. I stand as a professor of business. I can say that very clearly. When you can't stay for 2 years to have a policy that is driving an economy. It means that when a child is convulsing, you start trying so many things. You do this, you do that, you do this, because you don't even know what to do. So that's the point where we are in now, and all of us as professionals, we have to rise up to see what we do to have this great nation back on its feet. I always believe in this nation. Anywhere I get to, I say it's a great nation. It's the China of Africa. I will get there one of these days. So, very quickly, every depressed environment comes with challenges, but a good leader always go for coping strategy. So what I'm going to speak to us about in a few minutes is coping strategies. So the reality I've shown to us, that's our reality. We don't know, you won't stop, you will not shut down your business because of that. So that's our reality. The challenge of competition, what do you do? Keep an eye on competition activity. So monitor processes and practices that can help you anticipate their next move. Today, yes, I know it's a challenge for us, especially some of us that we're local manufacturers, or you're practicing, you're competing with Julius Berger, you want to get job too, that some of these foreign companies are getting, that your competitors, they have better capabilities. All you need to do is to sit down and look at what they're doing. I learned that in China. You don't need to do extraordinary. You just need to look at your environment and be creative with your environment. And that is one of the little things I'm doing with the youth in University of Lagos now, for us to be creative and use what we find in our environment to solve the problem of our environment. That is what it is. China shut down. In fact, nobody was even ready to relate to them because they're not practicing democracy. So they shut down. They built. When they were done, they launched out. And today, they have become, every bulldozer moving through everywhere. And the West need to rise up because, they understand. And the West need to increase their friendship because they saw that China was almost conquering everywhere. That's the capability that Nigeria as a nation has in Africa. In Africa today, if you do not know, in 1 out of every 5 Africans is a Nigerian. That's how big we are. That's how big we are. This state you are in is the 5th largest economy in Africa. So if Lagos State was supposed to be a state, a country, is the 5th largest economy. That's how huge this nation is. That's what we must understand. That's what we must see. And that's why everybody, and I thank you for doing this, for this kind of public lecture, that's what everybody must begin to speak, to say, so that we can get there. We have the capability to do. When you look at UAE, Dubai was very smart. Dubai understand that oil will not be sustainable, will not be the one that will be what we're going to depend on. What they use, they make sure that they took for 10, 15 years, they used the oil money to develop what can sustain the economy. Today, the kind of flight, before when you talk about Heathrow, where you have the highest number of flight landing and flying, it's no longer Heathrow. It's not Dubai. And do you know what it takes when a plane lands? Just landing, you know how much the government is earning? Go and look at Africa. We're supposed to be a hub. When we talk about this kind of thing, so a lot of opportunity for us, and because so many of us, these are people that built this nation. I'm very honored to stand on this podium to speak to you people, because you're people of influence. You're people that I know can get it right, that you can speak to people in this country. I kept on saying it. When Nigeria here, I did a study on Nigerian Airways, and then too, and when I looked at what happened, we were not supposed to be where we are today. And if need be, to bring that back to be regionally extremely competitive, it is important. That's how you prove the stature of a country. And it is very, very important. So, your customer, do you retain them? Look at the characteristics of your current customer. What are they doing now? Ensure the fact that this time around, customers themselves are frustrated. Just try, because prices are increasing. You need to manage them, psychologically. Because, yesterday, I've just been allocated a professorial quota in the university, so I needed to do it to my taste, and I took it over myself to do it myself, because there won't be budget. So I went, getting some things, and the man that I bought all this massive Falumaco glass from said, "Please, sir, you only have 1 week to keep this thing in my office. After 1 week, I may be speaking another grammar." He said, "Because it's better you pack it now, and I know I've sold it, than you keeping it." And they were very big. And those guys, the engineer will say, "We need to finish all the framework and come and cut that and pack." So I have to be on the neck of that engineer to say, "You have to do this thing within 1 week." But I understood what he was saying. And it shocked him that I understood and I didn't quarrel with him. I said, "I understand. You don't know who I am. I understand what you're saying." So he said, because he now told me later that, "Look, I'm battling with one now who bought glasses from me for 1 year and they come back and wanted to carry the same glass now." Yeah, when you look at the business sense, you say, "Okay, my money is using my money to trade." When you look at the margin of what has happened and the devaluation to the naira, it's not reasonable for him to give it to you at what he has now. And the customer will see you as not being trustworthy. How do you manage those complexity? So you have to understand the customer, you have to speak to your client and let them understand, well, please, this is the situation, and give greater explanation. So, uncertainty, how do you cope? Have what I call the 5 to 10 year plan. And you may get expert. Some of you there's another little challenge with us. Let me say that here. I like our name, Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. Most of us, we don't know how to use consultant. When I get, you speak to us in business, only when you are in trouble. No. When the going is good, speak to us. That is when you maintain it, you maintain the going. In fact, you may be getting to a very sharp corner, then you need to be told that, "Oh, there's going to be a sharp corner, and this is all you need to do." So by the time you're speaking to us when the going is bad, you are no longer patient to listen to us on how to get out of, out of the trouble you are in. So most of the time, let's use consultant, have 5-year strategic plan, 10-year strategic plan, and I was quite involved in the 25-year strategic plan of University of Lagos then, and I know what that has delivered to the university. It's one of the things that led us into knowing how to be globally competitive and all of that. This is very important for some of us that were fairly big. It's important for us to do. And the challenge of cash flow, how do you cope? Apply fund management to keep track of your cash flow. There's something you can do about it. Daddies, mummies, CEOs, you cannot continue to do anything in analog manner again, no way. It will not work. So try to ensure that you have a cash flow methodology that can alert you where your cash flow is going, as well as for you not to go and take a loan. You know, at times, it's when you don't keep a track of your cash flow, it will push you to go and take a loan of that. You are, how do we say it now? You are in dire need of money to finish this project, and you go and take a loan that is not repayable, or that should eat into your profit because you didn't do a proper management of your cash flow. That is equally important this period. This is the period that almost, if you track before you leave everything into your accountant, they come back to you in 3 months. This period is the period, if it is possible, bi-monthly. You want to see what is happening, you want to know what is going to this project, you want to know what is the inflow, what is the outflow, how do you control? How do you control that? Okay, this next project, you project manager, I don't issue any fund to this again except you've gotten this money from the debtors. You are looking at your inflow and your outflow so as for you not to go back and go and collect loan that you will not be able to pay, as the case may be. Your overhead too is very, in fact, this is a period that you should become, if you are the CEO, you should become co-chief accountant so that you are able to look at your overhead. Most of the time we've seen that when there is no avenue to increase profit, just reduce your overhead. You discover that, you know, your P&L, you know, will be looking fine. That, again, you need to do. Cyber security, you could say which country, one country in Africa just last week was just, you know, the entire security system architecture was was taken over by cyber fraud. I've forgotten the country just this week. And they were trying to say, okay, we're trying to resolve it. This, again, is very important. The hand-earned money that is not sufficient, you must not allow, you know, fraudsters to be able, you know, to access it too. You must ensure that you invest into protecting your business, investing into cyber security. So again, performance evaluation. It's important. You must, at this point in time, is where you should be able to evaluate your performance, keep track of those performances, keep track of every individual and organizational place. Let performance be the reason for which you earn more salary, performance the reason for which you earn bonuses, performance should be the reason for which, you know, we can now say you move to the next, because these times are very tough. These times is tough for individual, it's equally tough for the entity that is a business, that you represent as the CEO. So that is very important. When you look at this, monitor the progress made and evaluate performance at the end of the management cycle so that it's easy for you, you know, to ride out. The challenge of feedback, we're almost getting there now. Consider investing in a reliable consultant or a third party who can monitor how your company is perceived online and can pinpoint where the company is going wrong with the customer service. Whether we like it or not, digital marketing has come to stay. You see, our life, some of the elderly people I've seen here today, you've seen 3 circles of movement, and you'll be able to even help this nation the more. You've seen us when we were at our lowest ebb. You're seeing us now as we're trying to digitalize. So it's important that, you know, this period is important because it can help us, you know, to do a whole lot of things, and feedback about what you do from your client is important too for you to be able to, you know, to survive this period. And the last thing I'm mentioning is what? Leadership. Leadership in the business environment. One of the things that will make a company to survive in this depressed business environment, if you're not careful, that will slide into its leadership. How resilient are you as a leader? This is the period now that if you're not used to having congregation of your workers speaking to them, this is the period you're supposed to be having either once in a week or once in 2 weeks. Speak to them, encourage them. Let them know that this time too shall pass. Let them know that, don't worry, our company will do better beyond what is happening now. Get people to be part of what you're doing. Don't transfer aggression because the other client has not paid, and you are transferring the aggression to your worker that will now make him to, see the way Madam has behaved today. It's like this company will soon go down, and your best of worker will start doing a bet to apply outside. So this is the period that leadership, will drive everything in the organization. You show them quality leadership, responsible leadership, letting them to know that you can do this together, and you discover that you win so many people, to your side. So leadership is that of influencing an organized group towards accomplished goals. So a good leader will do this. You ensure members of the organization are carrying out their tasks as expected of them, and you are encouraging them. And everybody, you could see that you are there, you are checking, you are moving around, you're supporting everyone, you're speaking to whoever you want to speak to loudly. That's the need for that microphone and for them to hear you, as the case may be. And a good leader too is what? A good team player. This is the period that you all need to play together very well. A time of frustration is a time you need other people to raise up your hand. You will remember, for some of us that were Christian during the war, that Moses could not, the Lord God said, raise up your hand. As long as you raise up your hand, the Israelites will be doing what will be winning. And when it was going, at a point in time, the ant was heavy. So he needed people to do what? To support. Aaron and Joshua supported the ant. So this is the period you need people to support your hand. And you must play together as a team player. And what do you need to do as a leader? Engage in problem solving, ask others to help or assist you, maintain emotional supportive relationship. I've mentioned this. Speak to your staff. Do not have emotional breakdown yourself, because you are the leader. You're the one they are looking at. The courage in you will make them to know. We even supported some organizations to cut down their during COVID-19, salaries, and people were still happy. They were still happy. So it's a strategy. It's what you can do. And people will still be happy because they could see you as a leader. They could see what you are doing, and everybody will be will be supportive. Invest in self-development too. Let them see. Some of us, we have staff you have not trained in years. That's not equally good. Staff must equally have the comfort of the fact that, look, I have a career progress here, I'm developing in this way, and they're investing into me. And it makes them to equally bring in, something fantastic into the organization. So I think on that note, I'll say thank you very much for speaking to us, and I hope we've been able to go on to from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes. Another round of applause, please, for our guest speaker. Definitely a very apt subject, well passed on. I am sure, as a professor, you could have gone on and on, but we'll just take this as the abridged version, and those of you who go to Unilag will get the full works for a fee. At this point, we need to actually move a little bit faster, and so we're going to try and do some engineering innovation here. We need now to see and hear from the incoming president, which is actually why we're here. We have slated as one of the items a full citation, but we will need, to a large extent, to abridge that because most of it is in the bulletin. The chairman is actually directing me. Is there? Exactly. So I would like to, I think the managing director was meant to give that citation. I'm going to use a veto power and do the citation myself because I think I may be able to manage the time better. So at this point, can I please ask our incoming president to please come to the stage for the citation. Yes, you will. At the same time, I'm also going to ask Engineer Charles Akindayomi, yes, please, to come forward because you are going to do some of the ceremony with me. And of course, the IPP. Engineer George Okoroma, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you have before us Engineer Oke. He's a registered engineer. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. He's a corporate member of the Nigerian Institute of Production Management, amongst so many other things. In particular, he joined what was then a very, very prestigious company, Dunlop Nigeria PLC, as a pupil engineer many years ago. And by dint of hard work, he rose to become the chief engineer of Dunlop Nigeria Limited, Nigeria PLC, a post which he held until he was appointed to higher level and eventually joined the board. He is a director, or is a director of ACEN Nigeria Limited and the managing executive of Tamilore Associates. There's a lot more information, but to add to the non-engineering part of it, he's a Rotarian. Indeed, a past assistant governor of Rotary, a past chairman of district conference planning for Rotary, and also for many years, chairman of the Rotary International Peace Fellowship Awards Committee. Despite the fact that he is standing in our midst, he looks somewhat incomplete. So I am going to ask his better half to please come and stand by him. Mrs. Okay, please come forward. So I use this to round up the citation by saying that our incoming president is happily married, and I can see why he should be happily married. He has 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. And as we heard earlier, his interests include swimming, traveling, basketball, volleyball, table tennis, and music. I would like to see you on the volleyball court now. I'm not so sure he still does that, but definitely all the others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 19th president of the Association for Consulting Engineers in Nigeria, Engineer Ajibade Oke. So at this point, I'm going to call on the outgoing President, George Okoroma, to please take over.
Can I have your roving mic, please?
This is a very interesting moment in the life of any leader to hand over leadership to a successor. On behalf of the past president of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria and the council and the power vested on me as the immediate past president, I, Engineer George Okoroma, FNSC JP, gladly, happily, willingly transfer the power of leadership by decorating the president. Engineer F. Ajibade Oke, FNSC, as the president of the Association of Consulting Nigeria in Nigeria. I also decorate you with this swell to fully give you the power to function as our president.
Mr. President, congratulations, sir. There's something else here. I'm not sure who is to do this. I think this is, okay, indeed. So I'm going to hand, Mr. President, I'm going to hand this to you, the microphone, for your first official activity.
The chairman, the guest speaker, let me, before anything, let me say, this gentleman here is a complete gentleman. More so that he did not run back when he was tempted to fly back to Port Harcourt this morning, because he was not going to bear the pressure of transferring power to another person. But I thank God that eventually he did it, and I will now want to decorate him with the immediate past president's lapel. Call it, please. Well, on behalf of the council and membership of ACEN, more in particular, those past presidents that are now admitting you into their council, I hereby decorate you. Ngozi is laughing. Maybe you should be around. Come over.
Please come along, man.
Well, I thank you for releasing this fine gentleman who had eaten so much fish in the Greek, for releasing him for 2 years to handle the affairs of ACEN. And on behalf of the council and the past presidents of ACEN, I hereby decorate you with immediate past president level.
Maybe we just have a photograph for the four, please. A round of applause for our brand new president and first lady.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So at this point, I'm delighted to ask the 19th president to please give his inaugural address.
The chairman of the occasion, Senator Anthony Adefuye, who is well represented by somebody who is a chairman himself, Senator Adesoye Ogunlewe. Let me first say that this gentleman, Senator Ogunlewe, had been a delight to engineering. When he was the Minister of Works and Housing of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he opened the doors for engineers, and I think Engineer Shagaya, our past President Shagaya, will testify to this, opened the doors of the ministries, departments, and agencies for engineers, and he made sure that he broke that iceberg. So, Senator Ogunlewe, we thank you very much for everything you have done for us. The guest of honor, Mr. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. We know it is difficult at this time. In fact, the convention was supposed to be 2 or 3 days before it was moved backwards. And so we are happy that he had us in mind, and had our own engineer, Adeyoye, the special advisor to the governor on works and infrastructure. We thank you very much for being here. The guest of honor, His Excellency Engineer Sheyi Abiodun Makinde, the son of the soil. There are so many sons of the soil here. Who, again, is ably represented by another high caliber individual, Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Wale Mogbojubola, guest speaker, Engineer Professor Ayo Francis Ogunye, the man you will always love because he's ready to do many things for many people. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to come here, but fortunately, I say fortunately, he had a professor of professors. Who not only got to me personally to say, look, I'm coming, gave me words of encouragement. Don't wonder, you attended University of Lagos. It can never be better. Great. And I was told that you didn't meet that good opportunity of getting out of school and getting to work. I can tell you, I finished my papers in, I think it was 15th of June, 1972, and I had employment with Dunlop Nigeria PLC on the 3rd of July, 1972. That is the good old, those are the good old days, which we hope will come back to this country. My current president, Engineer Alurabiu, FNSC, FNIC, I think he has stepped out now. Oh. The NSC president, Engineer Tasiu Hidar Wudi, FNSC, represented by my own friend and sister. Please get up and let them see you again. Please, the deputy president, the Rotary Club of District Number 10. We are having the first district governor very soon. And we are calling that lady Usheleri. So I will call you also Usheleri of engineering. So welcome. All the professional bodies here, especially ACEN, the Association of Consulting Architects of Nigeria, with architect Wale Okubadejo. Please, if you are here, please raise up your hands, please. Thank you very much for coming. All my past presidents, that is where my joys are, starting from the doyen of past president, Dr. J.I. Folayan. I cannot say less than to say thank you very much. Engineer Amana, the man who actually indirectly introduced me to ACEN. Indirectly, I will talk about the direct one soon. And of course, my own mentor, my Egbon, designer of Ilorin, the only person who has a palace in a palace, Engineer Larry Sangaya, is always a mentor. Thank you very much. I'm happy to see you here. Where is my lady? The first lady president, in fact, the only lady president of ACEN, the only lady chairman of FIDIC Africa. I've not even mentioned her name, you are clapping. Okay, Mrs. Okay. My own engineer, Mayen Adetiba. My teacher, this guy taught me everything, including, if your mind is corrupt if you say that. This man taught me everything, including religion, including how to even fast. I recognize you anytime. Engineer Kadri Adeola. Oh, you don't want to stand up. Get up and let us see you. I'm the president now. engineer, or let me use the word, what my friends used to call engineering Kunle Ogunbayo. I was his treasurer in 2010, and so it's too far away that I thought I was going beyond my bounds by asking him to be the chairperson of this investiture. But you've all seen what he has done. So thank him very much for me. Thank you very much. Well, I will leave my praise of Engineer Akindayomi. He has bullied me enough. And he has the physics. He's big, he's powerful, but he's a gentleman. Charles Yedi Akindayomi, thanks a lot. My own IPP, the man that was carrying me all along, everywhere, except where Ngozi is going to be. So I thank you very much for the foundations that you have laid. My friends, I can see my classmates at Elisha Grammar School, my classmates at Government College, my classmates at University of Lagos. I didn't see my classmate from ABU, but apparently we were only 3, so I don't even know where the 2 other people were. But I must say that I've been lucky with my friends. The Oyineyes of this world is a general. The Koyejos of this world, Koyejo is a really to be rude. I'm 1 year his senior, but he doesn't recognize that anymore. But I forgive him. This is my year, my month of forgiving people. I think I have the honor to say I'm a lucky person. My wife, Olabisi Oke, where is she? I think I will call the next policeman to look for her for me. My children, I don't know if the doctor is around, the wife of Dr. Diala of Mbise in Imo State. Is he there? Okay. Then I have the civil engineer turned banker, Ajiboye Oke. The next one after him is still in that American country, without knowing what to do with either Trump or Biden. And of course, the last but not the least, Abiodun Oke. I thank God that all of them are working and they are in good shape. So thank God for whom they are. Well, I believe ACEN has been very lucky. I give glory to the Almighty Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, for making today possible and for making me here to talk with you, all of you. But before I go on, let me talk about that my naughty friend. Where is he? Niyo Nomuti. I saw him briefly. I believe is here. He was also of University of Lagos. But before I go further, please, can everybody rise for me? And for a minute silence for my very good friend, classmate, engineer, Dr. Temilola Kehinde. Please. May the Lord bless his souls and may he stay in perfect peace. Well, TM and the First Lady of ACEN, Engineer Mrs. Meya Ritiba, introduced me to ACEN. Sir Amana had just, in his normal cerebral manner, said that the association should have an executive secretary. And I was an executive secretary before me. Then I was brought in as executive secretary in 2007, working directly, I won't use the word I normally use, but working directly with Meya Adetiba. Now, Temilola Kehinde was the vice president at that time. When Meya finished her terms, Bayo Adeola became the president. And if you look for a friend that can still deal with you, and you still have to be his friend, because he will not even allow you to go, it is that man, Bayo Adeola. He's a writer. He wrote so many books, and we were made to review his books. But what happened is that as we are reviewing his books, he will be canceling it. So he gives you one today, you read it, by tomorrow he has already changed. He's writing another one. And I said, will you make up your mind what you're going to write? And he said, look, when I say stop, that's the time I will stop. So Engineering is Development was the first book I happened to have with him. And it was a good historical story of ACEN and of engineering. There are so many members of ACEN that have done very well and that have been very good. Well, our MD of Lamata, Bimbola Akinhajo, was doing very well, very helpful, until the big guys took her off. But she has promised me that she will still go to be present and do a lot for us. Well, what I want to know is that I will not be on this podium twice as president. So your 5 minutes, I will take to 10 minutes. So, okay, I will cut many things off. I think a lot of it are already written, so I'm not going to talk very much. Adibola, will you please behave yourself? You are making face. You are only 3 months older than me. Well, I would say that during the times of president, we made efforts to check out. Let me leave those ones since they are knocking me off. Coming home, I expect the passion. I think I want to mention this. The passion and commend the efforts of past President Engineer Charles Yele Akindayomi. In fact, today is your day, like every day. Yeah, you think I didn't recognize you, I will. You are a fantastic gentleman. And my good friend, the immediate past president, George C. Okoroma. I've gone through the contributions of the past leaders of ACEN in order to answer a question that has been put to me severally. In fact, 3 times today, the people of the media put it to me. What do you want to do different from ACEN? For ACEN. And my answer had always been, they have not missed roads. They are doing everything fantastic. They are moving in the right direction. They are building blocks upon blocks. So what will I do different than to put more blocks on their blocks? So it is my own duty to make sure that I leave ACEN higher than I met it, if that means something different, so that the next person coming, where is he? Please get up and let them see you. I will recognize you. That is Engineer Kems Salem Al-Haji. We take it into a higher place. I've not asked you to sit down. Why are you sitting? Okay, you can sit down now. One of the past, sit down please, no, I'm sorry. One of the past presidents put all we need to do in a tripod, and that is membership, training, and advocacy. But I would love to put another leg on it, and that is staff development. When we were 2, 3 as members of staff, the need for staff development did not arise that much. But now it has come so strongly. And I know what the guest speaker said about collaboration. We are not going to take it the negative collaboration. We are going to take it the positive collaboration. And we are going to make sure we train our own staff so that, well, people say they might leave because they see the end of the road, but I say, even if they leave, the country will be at best, because we will have had people that are not illiterate. But if they don't leave, we shall end up enjoying their services. So this table, which I'm now changing from tripod to stable, I believe will make us good in our state and make us great association. Membership, we have talked a lot about membership, and we will continue to talk about membership. Training of our members and others. Well, we must train our members because that is what we are bringing on the table. And we must make sure that ACEN is attractive to people outside ACEN. Not that we will force them to join, but that they will join because they want to join. This is the aim of ACEN. Now, we will train people out, we train other people, well, number one, as a means of advocacy, because the best profession in the world is teaching. When you teach anybody, he doesn't forget you. I know if you ask any of my mates, how would you be, they will say, dead easy. We don't forget dead easy. So we will not forget. So we think that ACEN will teach. And I got this also from the policy of CPMS. CPMS was not going out looking for a job. It was going out, making sure that it trains people And those people that they train get hooked to them and give them work. That's a secret. Sorry to lead your secret out, Bayo. Advocacy, we know we have not done well enough in advocacy. Just like the chairman said, the engineers seem to be withdrawn into his own cocoon. And that doesn't work. Even when you are in the factory, you are busy doing the work, making sure the machines are running. Some people are doing the politics of the firm. And before you know it, you recognize them before they recognize you. So we are going to teach our people how to be entrepreneur and how to play parts in the politics of organizations. Well, all other items that we do normally, we shall do and we shall publicize. ACEN Endowment Foundation, again, I'm not going to mention his name anymore, or else he said we swear, but somebody had done it very well. It's something that came as an idea from Timilola Koinde, and Yeli Akindayomi put it on board, and now this has not taken, it's not taking a life of its own, with Board of Trustees chaired by Engineer Bayo Adiola, who is a little bit my Sally. Now, the star project that I have in mind, and that is one of the things that pushed me on, and I will need prayers and assistance from everybody, is to build the ACEN Secretariat. Be it in Lagos, I am sure Kunle is not looking at time. That's why the thing did not want to spring forward. So thank you for clapping. That's beautiful. So this either could be in Lagos or in Abuja, but preferably in both places. Like the immediate past president said, we have gotten a piece of land. We went there together in January to look at the place, a very massive place, and which and I believe we do properly, if we use properly, it will end up giving us enough to do the others. So we thank Engineer Adamu Suleiman, and of course, my IPP, my VP, Kamsalem, and Engineer Mimaje, who apologized today that he was not going to be present. Those are the people that worked so hard on the Minister of Federal Capital Territory. Now I'm begging our own representatives. Unfortunately, Ibadan people, I'm not coming there, but my Lagos people, please, I'm begging you, I'm down on my knees. We need a piece of land. We have identified something, but if you can get it, we'll be very happy. Thank you very much. So my gratitude, my gratitude goes to all my past presidents that are here. My gratitude goes to all my friends. My gratitude goes to everybody that has been here. And I thank you very much for being with us. We shall have the opportunity to grow and grow and grow. May God be with you all. Thank you very much. I must listen to Kule, he's the treasurer. So money will not come out.
Please, another round of applause for our brand new president. Congratulations, sir. If I've learned anything at all this morning, stroke afternoon, it is that the power of being an MC is very much underrated. I have been able to shift the brand new president on his investiture day and say, sir, you have to stop. I'm starting to like this. Okay, I want to thank everybody for their patience, particularly our special guest of honor. I know how important time is, and therefore we are, I assure you, we are actually bringing it to a close. But before we do that, we must, of course, hear from a few people. So what we have done is we've tried to quickly package a few, and the emphasis is on few, goodwill messages. Immediately after the goodwill messages, we will hear from our special guests of honor, and then the chairman will wind up the event. So at this point, I hope the media are ready with the goodwill message from FIDIC. FIDIC, ACEN is a member of FIDIC, and we are very fortunate that we have, interesting enough, the CEO of FIDIC is a Nigerian, and we have a special guest with goodwill message for the new president. Please roll.
On behalf of FIDIC President and the entire board member of FIDIC, I'm delighted to join you in this investiture program to get my good friend, Engineer Ajibade Oke, on becoming president of ACEN. Engineer Ajibade and I go back a long way. Since my early time in FIDIC, way back in 2000 plus, and it's interesting to see how you've risen through the whole process. I remember joining you in 2002, sometime down the line, and it was interesting to see how you've grown up. I congratulate you on behalf of the whole of FIDIC for making it to the top row. I do believe that you will build on the expertise and the knowledge and what experience is being shared by your predecessor, starting from Engineer Sagaya, who was in there in 2002, to Amana, Engineer Amana, and also gone to Adetiba, Mrs. Adetiba, my good friend, and also remember Engineer Bayo Adeola, who is still very actively involved with FIDIC, and he continued to support us. And I do remember coming to Nigeria in 2008 while I was still in my previous role as the AC Chief Executive, and we helped to look at the development of ACEN on training, and you were the secretary. And I'm really delighted that you continue to be a proactive member of the association, now you're becoming president. Going back into Engineer Ogunbayo, Engineer Rafindade, and Engineer what I call Kehinde, and Adamu, and also Akindayomi from my hometown. I do believe, Charles, we are both from the same place. And now going to Engineer Okoromo, I've seen quite a lot of people, including Engineer Suleiman, that's gone through to become minister. Well, first of all, there's a lot going on in Nigeria, and there is a great opportunity for our association. And I believe that back home, close to us in Lagos, a lot going on, and I have to congratulate our governor, His Excellency, Jide, Sanwo-Olu, doing a fantastic job with the red line and the blue line coming up. And I also seen all the big projects coming up in Nigeria. There's a great opportunity for our industry. So, Engineer Ajibade, I wish you all the very best in your presidency, and I hope that as you are about to host the FIDIC Africa Conference, that is going to be a very successful one. And I also look forward to seeing you in Geneva as we host our first conference after the COVID. And hopefully, with a little bit of luck, if you are able to get the Excellency to come and join you in your opening investiture, we'll be delighted to host him as our special guest in Geneva later this year. So without further ado, on behalf of the entire FIDIC family worldwide, congratulations on your becoming president, and I hope you have a very successful investiture. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the CEO of FIDIC. For those who are not aware, FIDIC is the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, effectively a worldwide organization of which we are a member. I also want to let you know that we are privileged here in Nigeria that we are going to host the FIDIC Africa Conference in May. And I'm sure we will be reaching out to many of you to make sure that you are also involved. That was a goodwill message from the CEO, Engineer Dr. Nelson Ogunshakin, FICE OBE. We have 2 or 3 other quick ones. I believe Koren had or has a goodwill message, but I think the president has stepped out. So at this point, I'm going to call on the Nigerian Society of Engineers to please, the president is represented by the deputy president, engineer Mrs. Margaret Oguntala, to please give a goodwill message. And as she comes, I will tell her that the very rules that are used on our president will apply accordingly. Brevity is the name of the game here, so I will give you 1 minute.
The chairman of the occasion, Senator, sorry, I have 1 minute, so I've just been confused by just that 1 minute. Engineer Senator Anthony Adefuye, who is ably represented by Senator Ogunlewe. Your Excellencies, the Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by our own engineer Ramide Adeyoye, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, and the Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Sheyi Abiodun Makinde, ably represented. The President of ACEN, the brand new President, Engineer Fatai Ajibade Oke, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, distinguished guests, past presidents of ACEN here present. Permit me to be a bit partial by recognizing the first female president of ACEN and the only female so far, who is also a past chairman of the Gamma of FIDIC, Engineer Maye Modupeola Adetiba, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Academy of Engineering. It is with honor, great honor, that I stand here to represent the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Tasiu Saad Kidari Wudil, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, who, of course, would have loved to be here because of the high esteem in which he holds the Association of Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. Over the years, the Nigerian Society of Engineers has continually collaborated, and positively too, with ACEN. And ACEN on its own has continued to also drive the professional growth of members and member firms of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And so I congratulate ACEN for all that it's been doing, for particularly growing or attempting and trying to grow the large consulting firms, which is the way to go. It is a way to create a platform for developing engineers, particularly the younger ones. It's a platform for tutelage and mentorship of the young people. And we congratulate you for continually doing this. I congratulate today the new president of ACEN, the 19th president indeed. I have known him personally for over 25 years, and the passion that he had at the time as the sales director of Dunlop had no match. He ensured that all engineers at that time had access to discounts in Dunlop, and many of us, including especially me, did not have to buy Tokumbo tires when he was sales director in Dunlop. He ensured that we had good discounts. And then he also ensured that Dunlop participated in all the events and activities of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I have no doubt that he will do well as the president of ACEN, and he will indeed take ACEN to greater heights. I congratulate you, sir, and I congratulate everybody here today. Thank you, and God bless.
The sign of great things to come, because I think the woman show us how it's done. She did that very, very well in a very short period of time. Thank you, Madam President of Nigerian Society of Engineers. One of the recognitions we omitted was that the Nigerian Institution of Architects is also represented here. The president, Architect Ben Ebo, is represented by Architect Wumi Agbaje. Can you please stand for recognition? Thank you very much indeed. The truth of the matter is architects and engineers go hand in hand. Finally, talking about architects, we have had with us right from the start the representative of the president of ACEN, Association of Consulting Architects of Nigeria. The president is Engineer A.T. Onojide, architect, sorry, A.T. Onojide. But we have here Architect Ukubadejo. Please come forward to give your goodwill message. Because you're an architect, I will halve the 1 minute and give you 30 seconds. No, I will give you 1 minute. Please come forward.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on existing protocols. I'm very green at this, and I stand here to represent my president, Architect Ayo Onojide, who unavoidably could not be here this morning or this afternoon. I'd like to congratulate the 19th president of the Association of Consulting Engineers of Nigeria. Like my friend, my good friend Kule says, we architects and engineers are like two sides of a coin, and we literally cannot do without each other. In ACEN, ACEN is the Association of Consulting Architects of Nigeria. We're an association that is not even up to 20 years old. We look up to ACEN being an association that has been established for over 50 years. We appreciate the strides that you have made in the industry, and we pray that with our new president, he will take the association to greater heights and will continue to collaborate with you in whichever way we can. Thank you, and God bless you.
So at this point, we must give honor to whom it is due. We have had special guests of honor with us from the very start. They came before it started, and they're still here with us. So it's my pleasure to call them individually to give their goodwill messages, starting with Mr. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, who is very ably represented by a very, very dynamic engineer Mrs. Aramide Adeyoye.
Mr. Chairman, sir, please permit to stand on existing well-established protocols. Time is fast spent, and I'll just... let me, on behalf of the Governor of the State of Lagos, the Center of Excellence and Aquatic Splendor, welcome all the invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. When you are in an environment like this, amongst your own people, you are almost tempted to begin to recognize everybody, but I'll keep it low because I think those protocols have been well established. Thank you. Mr. Governor is well known as a he for she governor, and so it's also not unusual for you to have my twin, my tag partner, the MD Lamata, also here. It's because he holds this particular association in high esteem, all of the members there. And he said, even though I'm not here, even as at 1 a.m. this morning, it was like, this assignment, this had to be done. So I woke up from my sleep. But he said, I hope you remember that today is ACEN Investiture. And I said, yes, you will be all well represented. So I'll just go on to read his prepared speech. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to have been invited to grace this occasion of the investiture of the 19th President of the Association of Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. I would like to first and foremost extend my hearty cheers and congratulations to Engineer F. Ajibade Oke for emerging as the 19th President of this association of highly revered engineers and engineering consulting firms. I've followed your activities with keen interest, and I want to commend the Association of Consulting Engineers for their role and contribution in nation building, especially in the area of provision of infrastructure. No nation can grow without infrastructure development, and this cannot happen without the great efforts of such an association as yours. I wish to say with all sense of modesty that with the great contribution and support of the engineering family in my government, Lagos State is firmly on track to becoming a globally competitive, dynamic, and sustainable smart city. It's instructive to note that in Lagos State, we're making progress in infrastructure provision in our own unwavering quest to design and develop infrastructure that supports the growing population of the state. In almost 3 years of our administration, we have worked relentlessly to fulfill our promises to Lagosians. Our modest achievements in these past months would not have been possible without the support of professional bodies such as yours. More importantly, I would like to state that not only have our engineers keyed into our vision of a greater Lagos, they have also demonstrated commitment and support that this quest becomes a reality. As a government, we're committed to providing efficient infrastructure to meet with the growing demands of providing sustainable infrastructure that will produce a foundation for long-term growth. We're also equally aware of the attendant impact of building resilient infrastructure that will generate a strong economic base for productivity, increased employment, and foster innovation. Public-private partnership remains critical to accelerate development, and our government is open to collaborate with interested investors to support the ongoing efforts of this administration to effect key reforms in transportation, in environment, public infrastructure, and tourism sectors to further put the state on a sound footing for economic growth and development. I would like to state that your association has been doing well to finding solutions to the ever-evolving dynamics of infrastructure development. There is, however, the need to do more. And in order to meet the growing needs and yearnings of our citizenry, the modest contributions of our association to various developmental dialogue, financing models, and sustainable development initiatives has continued to positively impact the country. On this note, I charge your association to leverage on the endless opportunities of Nigeria being one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and to intensify efforts in the areas of research and development that would create a more conducive environment and improve the standard of living of our growing population. Finally, I must commend the Association of Consulting Engineering for their deliberate efforts to promote professionalism, as well as to thank the organizing committee of this great event for a job well done. I enjoy you all to continue to put in more for the overall benefit of Nigerians. Once again, my hearty congratulations to Engineer Ajibade Oke as you assume office as the 19th President of the Association of Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. It's my prayers that your tenure will indeed be successful, purposeful, and impactful. Thank you for listening, and God bless. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Mr. Governor. Madam, we wish you will please send our best wishes to the governor on 2 grounds. Firstly, for the generous contribution made, and secondly, because we can definitely see that in his regime, in this tenure, the attention to infrastructure has been second to none. Thank you, ma'am. Finally, and I'm not sure if I should say it, but you remember earlier on I mentioned that my score in protocol was C- in school. Anyway, thank God. I'm sure many didn't even do protocol in school, but I got C-. I am aware that I should actually have called the governor of Lagos State last. And I apologize. I pray that we will still get work from the Lagos State. But that is really very much on a lighter note, I hope. At this point, it's a great honor to call on the second special guest of honor for this occasion. It is His Excellency Engineer Seyi Abiodun Makinde, who is the Executive Governor of Oyo State. He is ably represented by Honorable Wale Mogbonjubola, the Deputy Chief of Staff. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of your state, Lagos State, Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Special Advisor on Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Chairman, sir, Engineer Senator Anthony Adefuye, ably represented here by Senator Oluseye Ogunlewe, former Minister of Works and Housing, the newly minted President of ACEN, past President, the distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to represent the Governor of Oyo State here this afternoon, who is one of you, an engineer, which I'm very sure is a member of ACEN. I was called yesterday to represent him today, this morning, and I felt, who am I coming to meet here? But today, it's a great honor to have met my ogas, like Architect Adiola. I mean, these are people I knew very long time ago. Fortunately, I'm an architect by training, and someone said something, we were in there arguing it out, and he said, architects and engineers work together, I agree. But architects are to face the aesthetic of a structure, while the engineers are to take care of the structural balance in buildings. So there was a discussion, I don't want to call it an argument, and I have to raise my hand that I can't be part of this discussion, because in this room today, I'm saying these are all my guys that are seated. But there's something I want us to really think about. What's the state of nation of Nigeria today? I will leverage on what the Honorable Minister said earlier. We've got brilliant minds here today, but what are you doing about Nigeria? My principal always say this. He said, someone said he was the architect of New Oyo State, but today we have an engineer dotting the I's and crossing the T's in Oyo State. And if you can go back to Oyo State and see what is happening there today, is one of you that is doing the magic. My remark is going to be short here today. I want this, my hold or gas, the brilliant minds that are seated here today. Why not just collaborate with the politicians? Why not just come out, set up a committee and get more involved in politics? Simple. I will reiterate what the speaker said here. It said something about China China is a bit far, Dubai here. It's the professionals that are doing the work there. Please, can we kindly get involved in politics and bring Nigeria back to those old days? Mr. President, sir, that time you had your meal ticket, I was barely a year old when you graduated from the university. I can be very sure that a larger percentage of the people seated there benefited from that old Nigeria. And we're here today celebrating ACEN, celebrating engineering, celebrating architecture. But when are we going back to those whole days that you promised us? It's a food for thought. I want to say congratulations to you, sir. I'm not just saying congratulations as a representative of an architect. I'm like a son. I'm a son of the soil. I'm from Ibadan. And I discussed something with you. Forget this. It's a whole Nigeria. I said that, Mom, when are you coming back home? We need people like you. I'm throwing this to you. Brilliant mind here. Think about Nigeria. Baba is here. An architect, Shagaya, said something. He said, engineer Shagaya said something. He said when he was the newly minted president that said, he said when he was the Minister of Works and Housing, he was the one that invited the engineers into governance. Sir, that's something for us to take home. I want to say congratulations to you once again, Egmont, and I want to say congratulations to everybody that come here today to witness the 19th investiture of our wonderful president. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Please give our greetings also to the governor, that he's doing us proud. He is making engineers proud. Thank you, sir. At this point, I want to thank you all for your patience and for all that we've been able to achieve. All that remains, before I call on the chairman to effectively close, is to make a few presentations. I don't know if I can see the managing director. Please, if you have the presentations, please bring them. It is really just to give, yes, it is just to appreciate the chairman and the guest speaker and one or two others. So we're just waiting on the managing director, but I would like to call up to the rostrum our Deputy President, Engineer Kam Salam, to please come forward to do that aspect of the program. You're looking a little bit surprised, but surprises are good. Incidentally, whilst we're waiting, I've been saying all morning that one thing I've learned here today is this one thing I've learned. So I'm glad to know that it's actually been a learning day. One thing I did not know is the negative collaboration, that if you are a slave or anything else for that matter, you are actually negatively collaborating, but you are still collaborating with the slave owner. So I know when the governor of Oyo State said that we should participate and collaborate in politics, as engineers, I think we must do so. Whether it is positive or negative collaboration, I think it's absolutely essential, as you have said, sir, that we need to get closer to make sure that our role is properly fulfilled in the nation building. I was using that to play for time, for those who didn't notice. We now have the presentations.
Standing on the existing protocol, I am really honored, and as rightly said by the MC, surprised that I am going to do this aspect of the program. On behalf of the Association for Consulting Engineers in Nigeria, I call on behalf of the brand new president, Engineer F. Ajibade Oke, FNSC, I wish to present this plaque to the chairman of this investiture ceremony of the 19th president of our Association for Consulting Engineers in Nigeria, for accepting and being able to successfully and adequately carried out the function today as the chairman of the occasion. Congratulations. No, Emma. So rather to present this out by the president himself, being assisted by
Well, my chairman, I'm reading a different thing, but actually what is in my mind is you. Yes, you are representing somebody, but you have done so well in this place, out of this place. So we thank you very much for all you have done for engineering and for ACEN in particular. Thank you very much.
I think it may be appropriate for us to have this on the stage. The reason is that, yes, please come, sir. The reason is that we will have all the recipients in one photograph as soon as they've received. Please, sir. Thank you.
This award or plaque for recognizing our guest of honor goes to would I say Mr. or His Excellency? But I had all the Lagos people say Mr. There must be maybe preference for that. So, Mr. Governor Babajide Olishola Samaolu, Executive Governor, Lagos State, aptly represented by the Special Advisor on Infrastructure.
On behalf of the Council of ACEN and all the members of ACEN, first I thank Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola for asking somebody like you to come and represent, because you've done very well. We are proud of you. We are proud of you being an engineer, and we are proud of you the way you are. Thank you very much. So I present this to you on behalf of the Association for Consulting.
The next award goes to His Excellency Engineer Shea Abiodun Makinde, FNSC, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, ably represented.
Ọmọ wa ni ìsinsìnyí lọ yóò sì ṣe dáadáa lágbára náà yóò sì bọ̀ sí lágbára náà. Well, on behalf of Well, I can say it in Ondo also, don't worry. On behalf of the council and all membership of Association of Consultants,
last but not the least, this one goes to Engineer Professor Ayo Francis Agunye, Fellow Academic of Engineering, FNSC, guest speaker at this very event, the investiture ceremony of the 19th ACEN president. Congratulations.
my professor. Whether you like it or not, you are my teacher. So this actually is written to Engineer Ogunye, Professor Ogunye. But no other person could have presented it much better than you have done. You show that it is not just a fluke to be a professor. And so we are proud of you, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So congratulations and thank you very much.
I hope the paparazzi have done all the, do you need, can the MC join? Thank you very much indeed. Can I just ask only the chairman to stay, please? Special recipients, please have your seats. Thank you so much. The chairman will probably come to the rostrum, and I can help you with your, thank you. So that you can please give the closing remarks, sir.
Well, the time is well spent. I join all of you in congratulating the 19th president of ACEN, to thank the governor for coming, and the governor of Lagos and Oyo State. And our dear professor, we thank you. The deputy, we thank you very much. All the guest speakers, speaking, we thank you. Let me leave you with a message. When I was a minister, I make sure that the council was registered with the ministry. And since then, they've been giving them money on annual basis as a parastatal of Ministry of Works and Housing. Number two, I make sure I incorporated them into the system. But I want to tell you a sad story of our country. I insisted that 50% of all contracts in Nigeria must be given to our designers and our engineers to construct. And it was accepted in the council. We made provision to purchase heavy equipment to support all our engineers so that they can compete. As we are on our way, the head of government in Germany came to Nigeria to support Julius Berger against us. And they listened to her. They gave Julius Berger all the money they were owing them. And they placed Julius Berger's interest above the interest of Nigeria. So we have a very tedious journey to go in Nigeria as a country, where the leadership does not appreciate the competence of their people, and they prefer foreigners against their people. This country can never grow. And I challenged them, and it was a battle and a fight, and I was removed. But I will still continue with that battle when I have the opportunity. I want to tell you, the battle is your battle. You have to fight for it to gain it. If you don't assist in developing this country, we can never move forward, no matter what we do. Foreigners have taken over, and they are not better than you in any form. A Nigerian engineer and I've proved it, competing with foreigners when I was a minister. They didn't come near our people at all, but we are handicapped by the greed, avarice, incompetence, stupidity of our leadership. May God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Chairman. You have definitely done justice to this assignment. Thank you, sir. We were going to go straight to the vote of thanks, but I've just been told that there are two things I just need to announce. The first one is that ACEN has some partners for this particular investiture event. Havels India Limited, Jill Automation Limited, and Coleman Wires and Cables. We recognize you for your great contributions to this event. They actually have exhibition spaces at the reception area, and so those of you who on your way out can spare a few minutes, please visit their stands. The second activity I've been asked to do is there are some recognition of the committee, the planning committee. I believe that's very quick. It's just to hand over to them. So the managing director of ACEN will quickly handle that. We should do that in 20 seconds flat, please.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that the investiture of the 19th president of ACEN has been a very colorful and successful one. However, it should be reinforced that a committee that put this together had barely 4 weeks to do this. And the only way we can show appreciation of that effort is to give them a token in form of presentations. So I'll call them out. They'll all come out together, and the presentation will be made by the president. So may I please invite the president to the podium. Engineer Sir Jones Nwadike. Engineer Adeni Ogunusi. Engineer Emmanuel Akinwole. Engineer Wale Lagunju. Engineer Adekunle Adebajo. And of course, the man that took the responsibility, the man that really drove the whole process to ensure that we have a befitting investiture for the 19th president of ACEN. Engineer Ibikunle S. Ogumbayo, FAH, FNSC, FNIEE, past president ACEN.
The big guy. I've done, you know, you've always done well. If you want it done, give it to him. If you don't want it done, don't give it to him. Kule is my brother. Let me say that when I was a young engineer, his father was a director, executive director in Dunlop. So that is where we first knew each other. So congratulations. This is another great Ibadan guy. So well done. Also this is the person that is so committed to everything. Once you get him there, he runs riot with it. Thank you. I don't know what it is. This is also another Ibadan guy. He said, what happened to all the old rules? They are not here. Okay. So, well done, congratulations. Can you please
I thought there was one for the managing director. I'm proud of it too. Thank you. Can I now ask Engineer Kunde Ugumbayo, the chairman, to give the vote of thanks? Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for your presence here today. We want to thank especially our special guests who have stayed with us from the very beginning. I want to thank our governor for the very generous support that was given. Before I finish my vote of thanks, there's one small thing that we need to do. I've just been told that our brand new president 43 years ago was performing a different kind of ceremony. Today marks the wedding anniversary of he and his wife. Can we give them a round? Now, I could ask you to do what you did 43 years ago and say, kiss, 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 kiss. And the children are here also. The ones who are, please give us 2 minutes to do this. So, Mr. and Mrs., come. The children, come, so that we can see them. All right, where are they? Where are they? You know, well, my president, I can see that you've been taking good care of your wife for the last 43 years. She looks like she could have been a bride of 20 years ago.
That's why I'm not walking street.
But it's nice to have such a dedicated family, one that have stayed together for 43 years. There are quite a few of us there also who are also more than 43 years, by the way, you know, so. But it's so nice to see you here. Please move to the center so we can see you. To the center so we can see you well. Wow, good. And the one in England we will see on the screen.
1979, February 24th. 1979, February 24th.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I wish you and the family the very best. And the only challenge you're going to have is when you have to have a family gathering. Will it be in Mbise, or will it be in Diala, where's that one? Or will it be in America?
On the internet.
It will be on the internet. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. And so, on behalf of the members of ACEN, on behalf of the Council of ACEN, and on behalf of that new president, we say thank you very much for being here today, and God bless you all. Let's go. The national anthem, please.
Sorry, just before the national anthem, just before the national anthem, one thing I think we omitted was to let you know that quite a lot of people have been online. And, you know, it always happens this way that you forget them. So we want to thank those who have been online since 11 o'clock. Thank you very much for your attendance. And God bless you too. The national anthem, please.